this. Have you ever wondered why your mind feels so heavy? Even when your life seems fine, you wake up, you work this, you move through your day, but deep down, something feels off. It's not your job. It's not the world, this. It's the noise inside your own mind. Today, I want to tell you a story, a Zen story, that can reset everything you believe about peace and clarity. A story that will show you why your life doesn't need a new plan, it needs a new mind. Stay with me till the end, because once you understand this story, you'll never look at your thoughts the same way again. This is where the reset begins. There is an old saying in Zen philosophy, before the cup can be filled, it must first be emptied. It sounds simple, almost too simple to be powerful. Yet, this truth carries the weight of transformation itself. Most people live their lives trying to add more knowledge, more success, more goals, more of everything they think will make them whole. But the truth is, nothing new can enter a mind that is already overflowing. The more we hold on to what we already know, the less space we leave for what we truly need to learn. Imagine a cup filled to the brim with tea. No matter how much more you pour, it can't take another drop. The cup doesn't need more tea, it needs space. Your mind works in the same way. Every thought, every opinion, every fear, every conclusion you've drawn about yourself and the world, they fill your inner cup. Over time, that cup becomes so full that when life tries to offer you something new, it simply overflows and is lost. You can't absorb truth because you are already filled with noise. We all want clarity, but clarity doesn't come from adding more information or chasing more answers. It comes from quieting what's already there. Practice. The act of emptying the cup is not about losing knowledge or forgetting experiences. It's about creating the inner stillness needed to receive something fresh. It's about humility. The willingness to say, maybe I don't know everything, maybe there's another way. That openness, that space, is the birthplace of transformation. Every day, life gives us small chances to empty our cups. When someone challenges your opinion, that's a chance to listen instead of defend. When things don't go as planned, that's a chance to release your expectations instead of holding on to frustration. When silence feels uncomfortable, that's an invitation to stop filling the moment with distractions and to simply be present. Each of these moments asks the same quiet question: can you let go? Can you trust the space that follows letting go? When we carry too much, even the simplest truth cannot enter. This is why we often repeat the same mistakes, experience the same disappointments, and live inside the same stories about who we think we are. Our mental cup overflows with old patterns. We believe we are being wise by holding on to them, but in reality, we are being trapped by them. True wisdom does not come from accumulation, it comes from emptiness. The wise are not those who know everything. They are those who are empty enough to see everything as if for the first time. To empty the cup is also to surrender control. Most people are afraid of that emptiness because it feels uncertain. When the mind is quiet, there is no noise to hide behind, no story to distract you. You come face to face with yourself, the raw, unfiltered presence beneath all thoughts. But if you stay there long enough, you discover that emptiness is not a void. It is peace, it is awareness, it is the space where growth begins. The journey of resetting the mind begins exactly here, not with more effort, but with release. You don't need to fill yourself with more motivational quotes, more plans, or more information. You need to stop pouring for a while. Stop adding, stop explaining, stop reacting. Let the tea overflow and then let it settle. In that stillness, you will see yourself clearly again. When your cup is empty, life begins to flow through you instead of around you. You become more receptive, more flexible, more alive. Every sound, every breath, every small detail feels meaningful again. This is the power of emptying the cup, the power to begin anew, not by adding something external, but by returning to the simplicity within. The human mind is the most powerful instrument in existence. It can build empires, heal the body, create beauty, and lead to deep peace. Yet the same mind, when left untrained, can destroy our focus, distort our truth, and steal our joy. The difference between a peaceful life and a restless one lies not in circumstances, but in the state of the mind that experiences them. This is why the true path to transformation begins not with changing the world, but with resetting the mind. To reset the mind means to return it to its natural state, a state of clarity, calm, and awareness. Think of your mind like a clear lake. When the surface is still, you can see your reflection clearly. But when the wind of thoughts, emotions, and desires keeps stirring it, the reflection becomes distorted. You no longer see the truth of who you are. The purpose of a mind reset is not to stop thinking or to escape life's challenges, but to bring stillness back to that lake so you can once again see clearly. Every day we wake up and carry yesterday into today. We carry the same doubts, the same fears, the same stories we've told ourselves for years. We keep replaying them as if they were facts written in stone. This constant repetition creates a kind of mental fog, an inner noise that keeps us from hearing the quiet voice of intuition that lives beneath it. The reset begins when you become aware of this noise and choose to step outside of it. Awareness itself is the first step toward freedom. When you reset your phone or your computer, what happens? You clear temporary files, remove unnecessary programs, and bring the system back to a clean, functional state. The same principle applies to the human mind. Over time, it collects unnecessary attachments, old emotions, outdated beliefs. These are like background programs draining your energy without you realizing it. Resetting your mind means closing these programs. It means consciously releasing what no longer serves your growth. But this process requires honesty. You must be willing to face yourself without judgment, to look at your thoughts as they are, not as you wish them to be. Sit quietly and observe. Notice how one thought triggers another, how one memory leads to a feeling. How that feeling becomes your mood. Don't try to fix it, just observe it. The act of observation itself begins the reset, because awareness breaks the pattern. There is a deep intelligence in stillness. When you stop forcing outcomes and stop reacting to every emotion, your mind begins to recalibrate naturally. It's like allowing muddy water to settle, the dirt sinks, and the clarity returns on its own. The more you practice pausing, the more you realize that peace was never something to chase. It was always there, hidden beneath the constant movement of your thoughts. A mind reset is not a one-time event, it is a daily discipline. It happens in moments of silence before you speak, in the breath you take before reacting, in the decision to let go instead of holding on. Every small act of mindfulness is a soft reset, a gentle reminder that you are not your thoughts, you are the awareness behind them. When the mind resets, life feels new again. The same surroundings look different because your perception has changed. This. You no longer see problems as walls, but as mirrors reflecting what needs to be understood. This. You respond to challenges with calm rather than resistance. You begin to live deliberately, not mechanically. This is the essence of the mind reset principle: to clear the clutter, to release the noise, and to return to that quiet inner space where wisdom lives. When your mind becomes light, the world follows. You stop trying to control everything outside because you have mastered the only thing that truly matters: the inside. Letting go is one of the most misunderstood ideas in life. Many people think it means giving up, losing, or walking away in defeat. But in truth, letting go is not a weakness. It is a form of mastery. It is the art of releasing what weighs you down so you can rise higher. The mind clings to things because it seeks stability, but it often clings to the very things that cause suffering. We hold on to the past, to people, to identities, to memories, because we are afraid that without them, we might lose ourselves. Yet, ironically, it is by releasing them that we finally discover who we truly are. Every attachment we carry is like a rope tied around the heart. Some are soft and gentle, others are heavy and suffocating. But all of them pull us away from the present moment. When you hold on too tightly to what is gone, you miss what is here. When you carry resentment, anger, or regret, you are not punishing the past, you are poisoning the present. The Zen way teaches us that true peace comes not from adding or achieving, but from releasing. You don't need to fix everything. You don't need to control everything. You only need to let things be what they are. And in that acceptance, a quiet strength begins to grow inside you. There is a natural rhythm to life. The tide comes in, and the tide goes out. Seasons change. People enter and people leave. Joy arrives, sorrow follows, and joy returns again. To resist this rhythm is to fight with reality itself. Letting go is not about denying emotion or pretending not to care. It is about flowing with the rhythm rather than clinging to one moment of it. The more you resist change, the more pain you create. The more you allow life to move, the more peace you feel. Sometimes letting go means forgiving someone who never apologized. Sometimes it means accepting that a chapter of your life has closed even if you weren't ready. Sometimes it simply means releasing the need to know why things happened the way they did. The mind always wants an explanation, a sense of justice, a reason that makes sense. But life rarely offers explanations. It offers experiences, and the meaning is something we create afterwards. To let go is to trust that even without full understanding, you are still being guided somewhere meaningful. The practice of letting go begins in small ways. When a thought arises that brings pain, notice it, breathe, and choose not to feed it. When something doesn't go your way, instead of tightening your body and resisting, take one deep breath and release the tension. When you feel hurt, instead of replaying the story in your mind, sit quietly and feel the emotion without judgment. Every time you do this, you are loosening the ropes that bind you. Slowly, the heart begins to open again. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop suffering over things you cannot control. It means you love without possession, you give without expectation, and you live without fear of losing. This freedom creates space for peace, for healing, for new beginnings. It allows you to move through life like water, adaptable, calm, and strong. When you master the art of letting go, you stop carrying what is no longer meant for you. The weight lifts, the breath deepens, and your mind becomes light again. You stop being pulled by the past or pushed by the future. You begin to live in the only place that truly exists, the present moment. And in that presence, you find something precious, serenity. The Zen of letting go is not about escape. It is about awakening to the truth that freedom was never something to find. It was something to allow. Awareness is the silent witness behind everything you experience. It is not your thoughts, not your emotions, not even your identity. It is the space in which all of these appear and disappear. To awaken through awareness is to recognize this space, to remember that you are not the storm, but the sky that holds it. In most people, this awareness is buried beneath layers of distraction, fear, and constant motion. The mind is always occupied, planning, judging, comparing, desiring. We mistake this noise for living, but true living begins only when we become aware of the one who is watching it all. The journey of awareness begins with a single pause, one conscious breath, one moment of stillness. This is enough to remind you that there is something deeper than your thoughts, something unchanging. The mind is like the surface of a lake, always rippling with movement, but awareness is the depth beneath it. Vast, calm, and untouched. No matter how turbulent the surface becomes, the depths remain still. When you rest in that stillness, even for a few moments, life feels different. You stop reacting automatically. You begin to see instead of merely look, to hear instead of merely listen, to feel instead of merely think. Awareness transforms everything it touches. The moment you become aware of your anger, it loses its control over you. The moment you become aware of your fear, you begin to see it as energy passing through, not as something that defines you. Awareness is not about fighting emotions. It is about shining light on them so they lose their power. Whatever you bring awareness to begins to heal. The reason many people feel lost or trapped is because they live unconsciously, driven by habits, past pain, and thought patterns they never question. The moment you wake up to this, your transformation begins. But awareness cannot be forced. It must be cultivated gently. You can begin right now as you breathe. Simply notice the breath entering and leaving your body. Notice the pause between each inhale and exhale. In that pause, there is peace. That peace is awareness itself. When you start practicing this throughout your day, while walking, talking, or even washing dishes, something subtle begins to shift. You stop being a prisoner of thought. The mind becomes a tool again, not a master. You begin to experience life directly, not through the filter of constant commentary. Awakening through awareness is not about escaping the world or renouncing life. It is about engaging with life fully, but without losing yourself in it. It means being completely present in each experience. The sound of rain, the warmth of sunlight, the texture of your breath. It means seeing the sacred in the ordinary. When you live with awareness, time slows down. The simplest moments, drinking water, hearing a bird, watching a child smile, become profound, because you are there for them. As awareness deepens, you begin to sense that you are connected to everything. The separation between you and the world starts to fade. You realize that every person, every sound, every experience is part of a greater flow of existence. In that realization, compassion naturally arises. You stop judging others so quickly because you see yourself in them. You stop chasing happiness because awareness itself is joy, quiet, unshakable joy that does not depend on anything outside of you. This awareness is the final step in resetting the mind because it brings you back to your original nature, open, calm, and free. This. When awareness awakens, you no longer seek peace, you are peace. You no longer search for meaning, you live meaning. This. Life becomes effortless, not because problems disappear, but because you are no longer lost in them. This. You have awakened to the one within you that was always awake. This. That is the silent miracle of awareness. It doesn't add anything new to you. It simply reveals what was always there.